Hey y'all, my name is Jasmine Jones. I am a licensed clinical social worker, and you are now watching Black Girl Therapist in the Wild. This is a little show I like to call Therapist Sips and Reviews, and today we are reviewing Spider-Man Across the Spider Verse, and we are sipping on orange juice and vodka. Yes, God. It's been a while, but I'm back again. How y'all doing? I took a little hiatus. I've been leaning into my photography more, so now I made my Instagram public, so I don't know, wherever I put the little logo, you can go and check out my photography stuff. I've been mainly doing self-portraits, it's just so conceited. It's so magical, though. It's like Alice in Wonderland, just going places and taking pictures of myself. I'm just going to sprinkle some examples just because. And I learned that it's hard for me to put my energy in two types of different creative things at once, especially since I'm doing this all by myself. So I lean more into my photography over the summer, and I've been exploring Southern California, my home, as if I were a tourist, just here for the first time. And you know what? The jadedness that I have grown to have over the years, over living in Southern California, has slowly dissipated. I can see why people want to come here and visit and go look at things and do stuff and have little adventures in Southern California. And it is somewhat of a magical place, and I am not upset to live here anymore. Not that I was hugely upset. It was just more so this is my home. This is where I live. It's not that big of a deal. I don't understand why everybody keeps trying to come here. Now I do. And it's wow, it's interesting. So yeah, that's what I've been doing this summer. Check out my Instagram, I guess, whatever. It was private before. Now it's public. So, you can't comment unless I follow you. So it's baby steps. And opening my life up to the world. Yes, God. But anyways, how y'all doing? So I finally saw Across the Spider Verse, and y'all know how I feel about colorism. And so how we're gonna do this so this doesn't turn into a whole rant about colorism. And we're just going to go through and dissect the movie and what happened in the movie and the psychological situations that may or may not have been happening with the characters in the movie. And then we're going to leave my little 2 cents about colorism and why I did not give my money to watch this movie. Do with that as you will. Because I'm not going to give my money to watch a little black boy glorify a little white woman for 2 hours and 20 minutes. No, God. It was bad enough that I sat through Creed 3 and the only dark-skinned black woman was the maid. So, yeah. So I didn't give my coin to watch no. But, it was a good movie, good plot, good put togetherness, good artistry, and musicness, and, lovely gowns, beautiful dresses, ensembles, and things, soundtrack amazing, magical. So... Y'all know, if you've seen my previous videos, y'all know I don't do this color shit. The only dark-skinned black woman in this one was working and pregnant. Or the 3 friends in the beginning that tried to cheer Gwen up. Magical nigresses. What? But anyway, so let's get into dissecting the movie. So, we're back in Spider-Man lands. And there's very different, diverse Spider-Man lands. We start off the story with Gwen, just like we started off the story with the white Spider-Man in the beginning of the first movie. We're starting off the story with the white Spider-Woman in the beginning of this movie. Yes, God. And she's, sad because she killed her friend Peter Parker, because he wanted to be white man glorious and got jealous because she had magics and he wanted magics too. Power and control. He found some chemicals to give him the magics and turned into a lizard monster that he couldn't control. Yes, that's what happens when you glorify power and control. Y'all niggas gonna hate me. No, because there's many niggas that thought this movie was good. No, because what I felt like was, we're just gonna free flow with it, because I'm upset. This movie came out a week after Little Mermaid. Every nigga that was putting down The Little Mermaid just loved this movie. Yes. Every white, Latin, Asian, black nigga loved this movie. But The Little Mermaid was a little monkey fish bitch. You know, I'm just, you know, and across the globe loved this fucking, and, I just want the same for black women. You know what I mean? Like we barely could have the sequel to the Black Panther because we're still seen as monkey whores. Bed wench monkeys. You know, and I just, especially dark-skinned black women, like I just want the same for us, the same like excitement, global excitement to see us do things in the movies and lead something and do stuff. You know, I just want that so much. But to see the excitement and joy for weeks after this movie came out, the think pieces and the glorifications and but every other article about The Little Mermaid was this black monkey fish bitch. Basically, and I knew this was going to be the next movie that I reviewed because it was right after The Little Mermaid. You know, it's popular or whatever. And so I couldn't just skip over it and act like it didn't exist like I wanted to. Because it didn't feel right, you know, for my creativeness. It didn't feel right. So, you know, I'm doing it, but I'm going to be a bitch about it. And you can love me, you can hate me, whatever the fuck you want to feel. But no, nigga. We're pointing out every little racial piece, whether it's real or made believe in my mind, because I'm fucking tired. Yeah, so anyways, the movie was introduced by the white woman and her sad life with a dad that loves her but is strict, and her feeling lost and alone because I guess the auntie died or something, and her friend died, and she feels isolated in her magic poweredness because she can't tell nobody that she's Spider Woman or whatever the fuck. And so you know, the other spider people, like, they see her sadness one day when she's going off to fight and her dad is there, and she reveals herself to her dad, and the spider people see her sad, white face drooping, and they say, come along, little girl, you can be in the Spider Verse Dimension Patrol because you look sad. You know, that's where we meet the Latin Spider-Man, and we meet the pregnant black bed wench spider. Why is she working? No, and you can't even be like the white Spider-Man was wearing his. That was a choice that he made for that day because he's silly. These niggas was calling on her to work. Miguel kept calling this bitch like, hey, you do this. Do you not see that she's pregnant? No one cares. We're not dainty, delicate, feminine things. No, we're not seen that way. No. But we're capable of seeing the dainty delicateness in others, especially others that are white. And y'all gonna hate me for this shit. I don't care. I'm upset. And, you know, I just kept looking at Gwen, and I was just like, this white bitch and her problems I don't care. Because as soon as she's sad and makes some white, blue, droopy eyes at somebody, somebody's gonna come along and help this bitch, which they did. Miles is over here with a whole fucking book and drawing this bitch over and over and over, fascinated by this hoe. And I'm just like, I mean, she is traumatized and she is going through things. And, you know, I'm just like, let it be a black bitch. We all going through shit and not a nan motherfucker would look at us and help. You got this bitch working pregnant. That's what I'm talking about. This bitch is over here working pregnant. But as soon as this bitch drop a damn droop in her eye, let's help her. You know, we have to support her. She's sad and she's gonna be here by herself and she's not gonna have nobody. And where was that when you got pregnant, girl? Because she wants to work. Bitch, no, that's a character that was made by people. That was a choice by the people that made the character. The character is not a real fucking person that chooses to work. These people decided that the only black woman, except for the AI one, we'll get to that bitch, because, I mean, like, we're going to get to her. Except for the AI one who wasn't even really there. just like what you call it, the princess and the frog, nigga. Frog for most of the fucking movie. Soul. A fucking soul for the whole movie. And then when you did become a human, it was a white woman wearing your skin like fucking scary movies and shit. AI. Not really there. Oh, niggas gonna hate me for this. I'm trying, y'all. I am. Because when a bitch is tired, a bitch is tired. I'm tired of feeling like everybody that looks like me doesn't deserve to be loved. I'm tired of feeling like every time I turn on the television and see any type of romance with a black person in it, it always has to be them with somebody that doesn't look like them. I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing no representation where I can at least fantasize about being loved by somebody that looks like me. You know, like nothing. No. And then when we do get representation, what are we doing? We are slinging webs 9 months pregnant. Bitch. And so anyway, she dropped her droopy eyes. They took her on. And then we shoot to Miles, who's moping around because he misses his friends from the other verses. And, you know, he wants to see Gwen again, and he's drawing Gwen in his book 50 million times, and he's making murals and altars to the bitch. I'm not going to judge a child for their crush. But once again, this is a creation by people who sat around for months writing a story, putting together characters, designing a plot, and decided to make the choice to have him not just fall in love, but fall in love with a white woman. The mom can't even be black. I don't know. It's still on the table if she's even Afro-Latina. Like, she may or may not be. Dad can't even marry a black woman. I'm tired. You know, and the thing is, because no, don't come for me about the Little Mermaid being with a white nigga. I said all the way around I don't like it. But you know what? At least the Little Mermaid showed us in a dainty, delicate, feminine light. At least we were catered to and courted and loved and taken care of. And we weren't fucking swinging web 9 months pregnant. You know, we gotta take what we can get sometimes. And I took what I could get, even though every motherfucker in the world was saying the Little Mermaid is a monkey wench. I took it because I needed something, okay? Niggas gonna hate me for this. I don't even know if I'm gonna post this shit. I probably will, because I don't give a fuck at this point. Because no, this is my interpretation, okay, of the movie. Like, they all going through shit. They all sad. Miles sad because his uncle died and all this other stuff. He feel isolated and alone, and he want to see Gwen again and the other spider compadres, and he's moping around. So one day Gwen just pop up out the clear blue fucking sky. Come to find out, the bitch been aware of this nigga for months. How it happened was some nigga with spots. I thought it was the what's it call it from Watchmen. I really did when he popped up. I was like, is Watchmen Marvel? And I was like, no, I think Watchmen's DC. So who the fuck is this nigga? What's his name? What's his name? You remember the nigga from Watchmen? I'll put a thing, maybe, if I remember. He had to, not Munchausen, what, Rorschach. You know the Rorschach test when you look at the ink blocking. And that was his mask that he wore and shit. I thought that was that nigga. I was like, oh, look, they got Rorschach. Then I was like, wait a minute. Watchmen DC. Come to find out, it's some nigga that was created by Miles when he got bit by the spider and a collider shit situation exploded and he turned into a fucking white thing with spots, and now he can go into the multiverse and didn't realize it until he fought with Spider-Man again. And then here come Gwen out of the fucking clear blue sky. And this nigga thinking she there for him, you know, and I'm just sitting here like, look at this. White women doing white woman things. And I feel in my spirit there was a little bit of objectification going on with Miles, because once Gwen hooks up with him, she telling him about all the shit she been doing and all the stuff that's been happening. He barely talking about himself, barely saying anything about the shit he's been doing. I think for a second he was like, oh yeah, I've been doing stuff, I got famous and she was like, oh, that's cool, but anyway, I was just like, oh, you know, but me, I'm looking for anything to say that this is some bullshit. So, but they swinging all around, and then she put some little camera shit on a pole, and then you realize, oh, she's not there for Miles, she's there to catch that nigga. So off top, already doing sneaky white woman shit. She ain't there for you, nigga. I mean, she was kind of sort of there because she missed her friend or whatever the fuck, but she had already drank the Kool-Aid that Jim Jones was sprinkling around and shit, talking about Miles is an anomaly because he got bit by the spider from the other universe, and so that means that he da-da-da. But you know what? The space-time continuum fluctuates and shit, nigga. Anything could happen. You never know what the fuck could happen. So he got bit by the spider from the other universe, so now he got other universal powers and shit. He could fix things probably. Who knows? Y'all not trying to trust this nigga. Only the black people did. That's what I'm talking about. The AI and Hoppy, whatever the fuck his name was. That's the only character I like. Hoppy and the AI bitch, because she over here doing some stuff. So anyways, Miles thinking she there for him. She tells him all about being in the Secret Service for the Dimensions situation. And then what happened? Come to find out, she really there to get this nigga. Miles follows her because he been trying to like figure out the situation with his parents. It's all emotional and stuff because he want to tell his parents, and then this bitch gonna tell him not to tell his parents. And I'm just like, his parents are not your dad, honey. Because as soon as she told her dad had like this his brain split in half, and he was just like, you're under arrest, I don't know what to do. What is it? Cognitive dissonance. He couldn't handle it. He just didn't know what to do. So he defaulted to his knee-jerk reaction, which is arrest the criminal or whatever the fuck. And so that's hurt her feelings and stuff, which is fucked up and shit, because she like a human being with feelings or whatever the fuck. Niggas they gonna be like, you're anti-white. You can't be anti-white when them people control the world, girl. They could stop me from getting a loan on the house. Like, I can't stop them from doing things. What are you talking about? How can you be establishment? They run the establishment. So how can you be anti-white when they run the establishment? They win, and they always gonna win. I can say what the fuck I want to say about these people. And of course, it's not all white people, but I just feel like the flavor of racism that is within white culture is cultural. And it's something that they need to work on within their people. And it's something that will pop up randomly, even in those ones that say that they're not racist. So they should work on that. The ones that call themselves the good ones, they should be chastising the ones that are the bad ones. I don't know. It's none of my business. I'm not white. I am gloriously black and 36 years old and look 25. God bless. God bless. Anyway. Anyways, so like she's up here like trying to get to the other universe or whatever and follow this spot nigga, and then Issa Rae come and she mad, she like, why you let this nigga get away, blah blah blah, and lo and behold, whatchamacallit, Miles, he follows this bitch and sees all the shit that happened, and the dude, how he created a little mini collider and got more of the spots because he lost all of his spots and exploded the spots and all this other shit, and then he was just sitting there looking while she was doing all of this, and then Issa Rae come and is like, bitch, you shouldn't have met up with that nigga, and why you da, 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 da. And they all just drinking this Jim Jones Kool-Aid because we're in, because I understand. And this is like, if you watch this show, what's that show? It's by the nigga named Family Guy. It's the outer space show. It's this show with Seth MacFarlane. It's called The Orville. And this one episode where so apparently they went back in time because of some accident that happened on the ship, right? And one of the dudes got stuck back in time, and when they left, one of the dudes got sent back in time. And so it took the ship like 40 some years to get back to the time that he was in. So they was like 40 years after he left or some shit like that. And basically, while he was waiting for them to come, he got married, had kids. It was a whole situation. And they was all like, oh, you can't change time and shit because you could have created an anomaly. But in the beginning of the show, how they found this nigga was basically they followed his timeline on the computer to see like where his children ended up and stuff like that, and they followed his children back to him where he ended up, and then they found him in back in time. And I was just like, so because they were just basically like, so we're gonna go back to the original time that you landed here so that you never meet your wife and shit. And I was just like, so why would you do that? Like, because it's a strict law with the space-time continuum, and you can't mess up the space-time continuum, and and I was just like, but to find him, you saw his timeline, right? And you saw where his ancestors went and all this other stuff. So why couldn't you just do that again to see where his ancestors go and all this other stuff to make sure that nothing bad will happen, and then leave him the fuck alone? Because he didn't want to leave at that point. He wanted to stay with his wife. He wanted to live his life. He wanted to be unbothered. Why? How do you know that him going back in time wasn't a part of the space-time continuum? See, that's the type of shit. That's the type of shit I'm talking about. Y'all sticking to this strict rules of the space-time continuum. How you know him going back in time wasn't a part of that shit? So these niggas telling him he can't save his dad. How you know that ain't a part of the shit too? How you know? You don't fucking know. You just had one or two experiences because you tried to save your motherfucking self, and you didn't even try to save your fucking self. You didn't try to save, Miguel didn't try to save himself. He tried to replace himself with the same nigga. How you gonna replace your fucking self when you from a different dimension, nigga? I think that's what caused the problem. Not that you didn't even try to save yourself. I can't even, not these niggas trying to save their dad and their auntie and their uncle and all this other motherfucking shit. Why would that be a problem if they're from that dimension and they're saving those people from that dimension and those people stay in that dimension? You weren't from that dimension. You tried to live in that motherfucker when you wasn't from that shit. So with that logic, that nigga Miles being in dimension 42 is probably what's gonna fuck up dimension 42. But Miles saving his dad in his own dimension probably would fuck up the timeline, but would not fuck up the dimension itself. See, bitch, I watch Doctor Who, nigga. Y'all out here fucking up people's lives because you want to stick to these strict rules about time travel, when in all reality, how you know the moves you making to go back in time and do this, that, and the other ain't a part of the rules that was supposed to happen anyway, nigga. Soon as you make the step to do the thing, soon as on the Orville they made the step to pull him back when he landed on that motherfucker, that's also something that probably messed up the timeline because you just added another piece. You added some more shit. See, no. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I might be drunk and shit, but I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I watch Doctor Who, nigga. I watch Star Trek, nigga. I'm not crazy. So anyways, he following her. He just this happy-go-lucky puppy, just happy to be around this white bitch. Just follow her right into that hole. Didn't even think, ask questions or, but that Spot nigga was after him anyway. So even if he had stayed, that Spot nigga would have got strong and came back anyways and killed his dad and him at the same time. So because I was sitting there like, see him following that white bitch into that hole. But then I was like, you know what? It would have happened anyways. That's the purpose of that Spot nigga was to kill this nigga and his family and everybody else and all this other stuff. So, and then something that Spot nigga said too was that I'm going to destroy you just like I destroyed the others. So now I'm just like, are we adding that to the fact that he may be a part of these dimensions being destroyed? He just destroyed them. This is where you are in the timeline, but he's probably already destroyed them and shit because of the shit that you experienced and saw in your timelines and your dimensions and shit. You know what? See, now we're getting now we're getting physical, not metaphysical. What is the physics and shit, nigga? So there's another added piece to why the time no one's paying attention, no one cares. So we got these added pieces as to how the timeline could go. That means that Gwen, if she was a ride or die bitch, would have been riding or dying with him no matter but she had already drank the Kool-Aid of Jim Jones over here, who lost his little fake daughter that wasn't really his daughter, because you stole this nigga's life and was in his timeline, in his dimension when you weren't supposed to be, and that's probably what fucked up that dimension. Come for me if you want to. Not because you saved somebody's life and shit. Anyways, so Gwen done drank the Kool-Aid. She believe this nigga. She believe everything he says, does, breathes, the air he breathes. She believe this nigga. And so she basically is like, she been knew Miles was an anomaly or whatever. She been knew Miles was, his dad was destined to die, and she was trying to talk this nigga into killing his and letting his dad die and shit. And he just said like, what the fuck you talking about, bitch? Bitch, what are you talking? Bitch, what? And so, when Miles finds this shit out, he's just looking around like, cause he's in the other Spider Verse dimension and whatever the fuck, looking around at everybody like, everybody knew this shit, the fuck. And then Miguel trying to lock him up, and then Peter Parker, this bitch ass nigga, was like, you don't have to be so rough. Like, nigga, what are you talking? You see this nigga's crazy, right? You see that he has some kind of hyper focused issue, and you over here joking and acting like it's nothing. I'm tired. He has some kind of issue, and he's been traumatized, and now he has this hyper focus on, first of all, being in complete and total control because of his trauma, and being completely right because of his trauma. And he's not going to be deviated from his goal of being completely right because of his trauma. And so you sitting here acting like this nigga is just playing. I was scared for the baby when the baby was crawling on him. I was just like, is this nigga about to throw this baby? Because he's just scary. The aura, everything scary. But anyways, so what's his name? Miles finds out that everybody's against him, want his dad to die because that'll stop the anomaly from happening and shit like that. And it's vague as to whether or not other people tried to keep tried to save their family members, because the way Miguel worded it, it almost sounded like he tried to go back and that was it, but other people probably wanted to go back because he was all like, and if we keep trying to save our uncles and daddies and brothers and sisters and da-da, we're going to destroy the multiverse. And I'm just like, well, did they try? Or did you just try to live another man's life and then destroy his world and then say, oh, because I tried to live another man's life and destroy his world, I'm going to say that no one else can do it. I'm the leader. Because I'm not sure exactly if other people actually tried to save people or he just tried to live another man's life and then destroy his world because his genetic genes, makeup, time, whatever dimensional self did not belong in that dimension, and now he's trying to blame other people for the fact that he tried to live another man's life. And so Miles is just looking at Gwen, just sad as fuck. Like, oh, could you betray? I was like, this is white woman antics. Why are you white woman 101, honey? White people 101. Why are you surprised that they would go with the establishment, that they would drink the Kool-Aid, that they would believe the leader? Why are you not surprised? This is like a history thing, and this is why critical race theory needs to be taught in school, because immediately I keep a grain of salt for every white person I interact with. Just a grain of salt doesn't mean I'm outwardly just like, oh no, I'm just like, so I'm not ever surprised when that cultural racial piece pops up out the fucking blue because you were triggered by something I did, said, how I looked, whatever the fuck popped up in your mind to make you switch over. Okay, you switching, I'm switching too. Always, because that is a cultural piece, honey. Just like I keep a grain of salt for people that aren't black, anti-blackness is a thing, and y'all listen to these white folks and white supremacy and believe that black people are the evil devil monkeys when it's the white people that blew up your countries and took your countries and take your oil and it's the white people that do all that. It's the white people that deport you, but you drink the Kool-Aid and believe it's the black folks. Keep on drinking that Kool-Aid, honey. They still gonna deport your ass. It's the truth. I'm sorry. It shouldn't be that way. We should live in a world with no borders. But why don't we? Because of white supremacy, not because of black people. So I'm just like looking at this child, and I'm just like, so did your parents not make you watch Roots like mine did? No, like 7 years old, sitting up there watching all 6. Is it 6? I still got the VHS tapes over here too and shit. 6 episodes of Roots, and went to school mad. But I needed to know those things so I wouldn't be surprised like this later on. That is a rite of passage. You sit and you have your kids watch all of the original Roots, not the Roots that they remade, the original Roots from the 70s. Find the videos, find the movie, and have them watch all of it. And then, we have a conversation about it, because that is an illustration generations long to show you why you don't completely trust white folks. And then you don't have to read books to them like that. They'll just like figure it out later on their own as they go on TikTok and Instagram as they get older and things. And his parents didn't make him do that, apparently. I mean, his dad's a cop, so a cab nigga. And his mom, we're still on the fence if she's black. I don't know. Because if she's not black, I don't know how the Latinos teach their children about white people and racism and stuff like that. I mean, I have an idea because I have a few Latino friends and they don't trust white people, but I don't know culturally as a whole, like, how that works, because sometimes like there's white Latinos and they're very close to whiteness, and then there's darker skinned Latinos that are also very close to whiteness because that's how they survive in this world or whatever when it comes to white supremacy, and they teach their kids to do the same thing. So I don't know, but us niggers that are dark skinned there's nothing we can do to be close to whiteness. So a good majority of us have been taught that we can't trust white people, period. So, I'm just, he's 15 in the movie. He's 15. So, he's still young. So, I don't know what to tell you, Miles. This is white people behavior 101. Like, I don't even know why you trusted these niggas. It's your best friends and your mentor and shit like that. Whatever, girl. So anyways, he finds out that they all out here trying to let his dad die. Of course, that is a no-go. So he escapes. Hopi helps him escape. Hopi is punk Spider-Man. He's amazing. He's like the dad of the group. He's just amazing. I love him. I love to sit down and chit chat with him. And then the little AI. So she the AI Spider-Man, so Spider Girl. So she like sitting at home virtually doing this shit. I don't know if she actually has any powers in real life, but she got some powers with some AI and some computer science and some shit like that. So she run the whole computer system of Spider Verse. And them two black people, they don't give a fuck what everybody else is saying. They see that this black man, this black child, is going through some shit and these people are trying to hurt him, and so they help him get the fuck away, like as Gwen should have been doing from jump. But right, like just like the 53% of white women that voted for Trump. And I'm not surprised. I'm not. No, because she calls herself a nerd or whatever. Does she? Or did she call him a nerd? I don't know. But I know that the white Spider-Man's a nerd. So you sat up here and you didn't watch Doctor Who? You didn't think about the space-time continuum? You saw this one incident and said, oh, we can't change anything anywhere. You sat up here and you watched all of the sci-fis and the things, and you didn't think further than what this nigga was saying. Okay. Was the Kool-Aid good, honey? What flavor was it? And so anyways, he ends up in the wrong universe. And then Gwen ends up back at his house. So he ends up in the wrong universe and confesses that he's Spider-Man to the wrong mom. In this universe, his dad is dead. His uncle is taking care of his mom. Is this his dad's brother or his mom's brother? Because it feels like his dad's brother, and I just was getting like he trying to fuck the mom vibes. And I think it's his dad's brother. So yeah, I'm getting he's either fucking the mom or attempting to fuck the mom, but he's giving her money because she ain't got money. And then come to find out, like, his other him in the other universe is like, the bad guy that his uncle was in his universe. And I really was just digging evil Miles Morales. I was just like, but I like a little bad boy at heart. And this is a child, so we're not like, but just the acting, it was just like, wow. I enjoyed it. It's toxic. I was just like, oh, look at him. He's a little baddie. Okay, look at little Miles, a little baddie. He over here, kill, steal, destroy. Dad died. He just mad at the world. It's so sad and stuff. I liked his little character though. I don't know what's wrong with me. We're not gonna dissect that. Just a little sprinkle, little bad boy, but the rest gotta be, you can't be all of that. But he's a child, so we not even like that. It's just, I enjoyed the acting. Let's move on from this. And so Gwen come out his bedroom and confront his parents, talking about he's a good kid and he loves you, and because she feel bad now, because she feel bad that it took all of that for her to realize that Miguel got some fucked up shit going on. And I'm just like, I don't need a friend where it's going to take all of that for me to be in abject danger and someone I love to life to be at risk and my life to be at risk for you to fucking get it together. I don't need them. We might as well just be enemies and shit at that point, because it took this much. You was just sitting here on this, didn't tell me nothing. Knew all this time listening to these niggas, wasn't even thinking about the space-time continuum and all the other stuff and all the possibilities. You just said, nah, nigga. I'ma leave Miguel, and he saw some fuck shit. So, and he got recordings of the fuck shit, and I don't want the fuck shit to happen to me and mine. So, but and you was just gonna let your dad die too, bitch? Like, you was just gonna let your dad die too? Like, that's my thing. Like, she just cold with it. I was just like, so, cause he looked at her, he was just like, isn't your dad gonna be chief? She was just like, yeah. And he was just like, so you just gonna let this nigga die? She was just like, you gotta sue for the greater good. And I was just like, bitch, she was cowardly. Coward. On top of everything, I don't care, because no, she a superhero. Don't be like, she's a child, she doesn't know emotionally and no, nigga, no. This bitch is a coward. How you gonna sit up there and let these niggas let your dad die? Girl, you know, and she one of them, I'm traumatized and my dad is like weird about Spider-Woman, so I can't be my full self around him, and so I'm gonna latch onto any semblance of love that I can find, even if it's toxic. She's that type of traumatized, and I get it, but it's just like, Miles has a loving family, and your traumatization is leaking into his relationship with his family. You're telling him not to tell his family that he's Spider-Man. You're telling him to let his dad die, and we're going to follow the toxic, fucked up people and shit. Like, girl, you need to get your shit together, because, ew, I hope he doesn't get with her. I hope he gets with little AI bitch, and they make a happy brown children, and it's magical, because that's what the little AI bitch deserves. She's sitting up there in her house eating chips, controlling computers and shit, just like I would be doing. Like, let's do it the easy way, the lazy way, because that is the best and the most simplest and the fastest way to get all this shit done. She's just so smart. She's just so, the AI Spider-Man, Spider-Woman girl is just so smart, and she deserves the world. And the pregnant Spider Girl, she deserves the world too, and she deserves rest and relaxation. I don't care what hokey bullshit they make up about how she wanted to work and shit like that. It's a character y'all made up, so you chose her to want that. That's why I have to say that it's a character you made up, and you chose her to want that type of life. What does that say about y'all as writers and producers and directors and actors that choose to act this part that has one of the few dark-skinned black women in the show looking like this, while this little white girl gets to be over here? Just love on me. I'm so sad, girl. Fuck your problem. You know what I would have given for all the times that I was just isolated and by myself and going through things, to have an army of people just like that. The only people that I have that have helped me have been black women. You had all the races, all the niggas, all the women, everybody trying to help you, girl. And you sat up here and you still did what the fuck you wanted to do. Didn't listen to nobody. And then when you did listen to somebody, you betrayed your fucking person you said that you loved the most, and it's your friend and all this other shit. Girl, get out of my face. I don't like her. I don't care. I don't give a motherfucker. Reverse race. Ain't no reverse fucking nothing. So my favorite character is Hopi. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. I'm gone. And the Indian one, what's his name? I don't remember his name. I'm not about to butcher nobody's name. So the Indian Spider-Man that had the Indian Gwen or Mary Jane, whatever the fuck her name was in Indian. And at least he got to be with somebody that looked like him. Everybody else gets to be... Not Miles, though. Miles gets the white bitch that ends up betraying him and is gonna let his dad die. It's just white people shenanigans. the Peter Parker that it claims to be a nerd and a dork and all this other shit, but gonna believe off top what this nigga gotta say about the space-time continuum. And he was there too, but you ain't even think outside the box. Like, maybe it was the fact this nigga tried to live in the world that the nigga had already died in and take his fucking life. At that point, you didn't change the timeline. You changed the whole dimensional buildup, the whole makeup of the dimension around you was centered around you now, and you fucked it up, and now there's a problem. So I don't You tried to live a life that inside something that you didn't belong in. How does that match up with saving the life of someone that already belongs there? That changes the time, but how does it change the dimension? That's what I'm saying. That's what you know what? But nobody's thinking outside the box. Nobody else has watched Doctor Who. I'm just saying. It just doesn't match up. Cause I be thinking all the time. Maybe I overthink, whatever, but it just didn't match up for me. And it felt reckless. It felt like y'all just listening to this nigga because you saw some shit, but didn't look at how all the shit came together, and I could be wrong, but the way he said it didn't sound like niggas was like, oh, and other people tried to save their aunties and uncles and stuff. It didn't sound like that. It sounded like they wanted to, and he just stopped that shit altogether as soon as his shit got fucked up. I'm tired. And we all it's a canon event, and we all and now there's a big hole in this city because you saved the Commissioner Gordon, and I'm just like, but wasn't Spot just there? So how can you say that hole is from him saving the police officer and not from Spot? Like, you don't know. You don't know for sure. You just think you know. See, I'm tired. And we're trying to coordinate off, and we can only do so much. And I don't like him. I don't like Miguel. Miguel's dumb. So yeah, I just, it was a good movie. Pretty gowns, lovely dresses. Ensembles were amazing. Frills, thrills, art. What else you want me to say? I mean, I didn't see myself in the movie. And I don't have to see myself in every movie. I really don't. Or every show. But if you're going to have us in there, don't disrespect us. Don't do that. Don't disrespect black women if you're going to have us in there. Don't have us in there. I'd rather have been a light-skinned bitch. I'd rather we had not been in there at all than be pregnant on a motorcycle or an AI. I just rather we not have been there. And then I could have watched this movie like I was just watching some white people movie with a black boy in it. It's like, oh, look at that. It's a black boy. He likes a little white girl. Okay, not a black woman in sight. Okay, I would prefer that. I would prefer us not. That's why I watch K-dramas and we ain't in it. That's their culture. That's what they making movies and shit about their culture. I watch white people movies with just white people in it and be like, oh, or if there is a black person, we're in the background. We're not even, they ain't even trying to hoodwink us into any little spot. We just in the background and it's just a bunch of white folks and it's just like, okay, well, it's a white people movie. Don't put us in it. I'd rather be ignored than disrespected, stolen from, copied with no acknowledgement. I'd rather be ignored. Just ignore me. Just ignore me. Anybody looks like me, and just make movies for yourself. And I'll just enjoy from the outside. Like, oh, it's white culture. This is what they do. That's interesting. But then when they put us in things and then they try to hoodwink us into a plot and then it's a pregnant black bitch on a motorcycle shooting webs. I don't want to see us working and being superheroes while we're pregnant. That's fucking weird. I don't really want to see us as AI see-through characters when we're only one of two black women in the movie and the other one is pregnant and working and a superhero. I don't prefer that the other one be an AI that's not real. A hologram, if you will. I just would rather be ignored and, just enjoy the art as it is without any commentary on black women whatsoever. Then I could have enjoyed the movie fully. Then I could have been like, well, this ain't about us. We don't have to be in this. This is about black men and their black men problems with white women. enjoy. Like, like we don't gotta be there. I'm confused. So maybe the third one, maybe he'll develop some love. And at this point, it just feels like, oh, we had to, it's just like with Doctor Who, how we had to, like, first we had to settle for a white woman. The white woman has to lead the charge before we can have like a black man or a black woman or a Latina woman or anybody else's Doctor Who. The white woman always has to lead the charge. And I know what the fuck you're doing. And that's what it would feel like if in the third movie he ends up falling in love with AI bitch or some shit. It would just be like, why couldn't you come out the gate with that? It was already popular. Why couldn't you just was scared you was gonna lose money if he ended up with a black bitch in the second movie? Okay. You was scared it was gonna lose money if Gwen just was black from jump? Okay. Then it would have made it a black movie instead of like a everybody movie, because, if you have too many black people in a movie, then they automatically like sign it off as this is an all black movie. This is not for white people or anyone else. And then they don't like give any accolades for that. So pretty gowns, lovely dresses, good plot, art, special effects, magical, music great. I'm not even listening to the soundtrack. I'm not giving coin to this. But the music from what I saw in the movie, great, magical. Lovely gowns. Dresses were magnificent. Ensemble, great. That's all I have to say about this movie. I'm sure you all enjoyed it. I'm sure it was a wonderful movie to you all. And that's magical for you all. But as a 36-year-old black woman that is exhausted, it just made me feel more exhausted. And just like, okay. It took most of the movie for this white woman to get it together enough to see you enough as a person, to trust in you as a friend, to believe that you were right and these people were wrong. And I'm sure he's going to end up being with this white woman because that's what the people want. And so since that's what the people want, that's great. I don't have to I'm just reviewing this because people like this fucking shit. And, people like this shit. Like, I don't, like, my feelings was hurt. I'm triggered. But like I said, if I look past and squint and pretend, I can say the artistry, the work, the dedication that went into making the movie outside of the racism and colorism was great. It took a lot of work to make that movie. The last one was in 2018. So that means they took all this time to make two movies. And so I'm sure, and we're on a strike, support the writers and the actors and stuff because they work hard. Shit, take 6 months out the year of your life to do just aerobics every fucking day for 12 hours a day. That's how I see acting. I'm not doing that shit. And so they work hard to make the money that they make and do the things that they do and sell the things that they sell. And so, support them motherfuckers. But will I be watching this again? No. The third movie comes out, I'm not paying for that either. But, let me know what you think. And, trolls will be deleted, blah. I'm not going to do all that. That's extra views. So, say what you say. I'm probably not going to read some bullshit. Because I'm tired. I don't really care. This is my opinion. But yes, I hope you enjoyed this review. And I will be posting more videos in the upcoming weeks. Like I said, I took a little break. Everyone needs a little break. I took a summer break. It's great. It was great. It's still great. But yeah. Later days.